All right, guys, it's been a little bit since we did a video on written theory. Part of that is, you know, as we've been listening to all of this experimental music and aleatoric music and minimalist music, there's so much there, and it kind of speaks for itself. And I didn't feel that I could really do a video on the theory behind these things. There are rules to every piece, of course. But in the later part of the 20th century, it's been less a unifying theory that's kind of guided schools of composition, if you will, and more coming up with rules of composition for each piece. And so we kind of talked about that in Moodle. Today, wrapping up maybe our last new idea we learned in theory this year, we'll have one more video just for you guys. Public channel. Sorry, not you can see the last video. It's a special one for my students, because I'm going to be saying goodbye to my sophomores. But the rest of us, I want to look at a really cool compositional technique developed by Arvo Pärt in the late 70s, early 80s, called Tintinnabuli, named, of course, for the Tintinnabulation of the Bells from Edgar Allan Poe's famous poem. And my students, you've already watched Für Elena, 1976, great piece of his that uses Tintinnabuli. The rest of you go watch it. Come back to this video later. But let's go to the whiteboard and let's talk about how Tintinnabuli works. So, Pärt has set up this piece. Für Elena is solidly in the key of B minor. You know, 1 sharp. We've got those B droning in the bass. It's very clearly in a nice B natural minor key. And the melody has a nice little chant, 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes, 7 notes, 8 notes, then going back 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 notes, and ending with just a do, re, do. Just a nice little, basic tenorizans at the end. And the other melody, what we call the Tintinnabuli voice, let's write that down, that word, so you can see that there. We have a melody voice, and we have a Tintinnabuli voice. And it's a style of counterpoint, if you will. It's how to write a second voice against the melody provided. And this formula is very simple. We're going to write up this is kind of a tonal thing to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. These are the notes of the melody. And if we go through Für Elena, let's construct this, and then I'll explain to you what's going on with this. Let's construct the Tintinnabuli voice. So when my melody is going re, mi, I've got a do, do in the Tintinnabuli voice. When the melody goes on fa, sol, sol, I've got mi, mi in my Tintinnabuli voice. Mi, re, when I got do, I've got a sol down here, sol, do, 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 mi, do, do, sol. Looking for new sol, fa, sol, mi, fa. We've done those already. Mi, sol, do, re, do, sol, do, mi, fa, mi, do, re, fa, re, sol, mi, fa, sol, mi, re, do, sol, la, te. Finally we get that, and then underneath the la is a sol. That's a really crunchy dissonant moment. Underneath the te is a sol, and underneath the higher do is also a sol. So what do we observe? First of all, we see that the Tintinnabuli voice is entirely using the notes of the triad that kind of underpin the piece. If we're in B minor, we're going to use a B minor triad. If you're in D major, you're going to use a D major triad. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do a jazz Tintinnabuli where you use a dominant 7th chord. It's kind of a Tintinnabuli blues, if you would, and do, mi, sol, te underpinning the whole piece as your Tintinnabuli voice. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Maybe an atonal Tintinnabuli. That'd be interesting. But we have this underpinned, and Pärt is using what's called first position inferior. Inferior, of course, means somebody who's below. Superior is above. And so what we're doing here is underneath the melody note, I use the next note in that tonic triad, or whatever the structure is. I'm going to tintinnabulize, if you will. We're going to take the next note down. So in Do, Me, Sol, the next note down from Do is Sol. Re, the next note down is Do. Me, the next note down is Do. Fa, the next note down is Me. Sol, the next note down is Me. La, the next note down is Sol. Te, the next note down is Sol. Do, the next note down is, of course, Sol. And so as the melody goes through these different areas, you drop down and you grab the next one. You could do a second position, inferior, which is you drop down 2 notes in the scale. So Do, Sol, Me. Re, Do would come down to Sol. Me, Do, Sol. Fa, Me, Do, Sol. Me, Do. La, Sol, Me. Te, Sol, Me. Do, Sol, Me. And you would see that I would pair each of these notes as our counterpoint. As the melody went up, we would do these tintinnabuli voices. Theoretically, we could even do a third position, inferior. It wouldn't be quite as interesting, I think, because you'd end up with more octaves. Every Do, Me, and Sol would be an octave, but let's sketch it out just so we can see what it would look like. 3 I for third position, inferior, but Do, Sol, Me, Do. Re, Do, Sol, Me. Me, Do, Sol, Me. Me, Do, Sol, Me. Yep. Fa, Me, Do, Sol. Sol, Me, Do, Sol. La, Sol, Me, Do. Te, Sol, Me, Do. And Do, Sol, Me, Do. So you can see we can have these 3 different inferior positions. Of course, we can have first, second, third. Parenthesize it. It's a little bit less interesting, I think. Superior, where you go up to the next note in the triad. So if I'm on Do, the next note up in the triad is Me. If I'm in Re, the next note up is Me. If I'm on Me, the next note up would be Sol. Fa would go up to Sol. Sol would go up to Do. La to Do. Te to Do. Do to Me. Or it could go up 2, so the next one up would be Sol. Sol, Do, Do, Me, 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 Sol. Or I could, third position, theoretical possibility, I think is less interesting because you get those octaves. But now you would get Do. Re would go to Me, Sol, Do, Me, Sol, Do, Me. Fa, Sol, Do, Me. Sol, Do, Me, Sol. La, Do, Me, Sol. Te, Do, Me, Sol. Do, Me, Sol, Do. And you can harmonize like that. And later works of Parrot get really thick textures. Let's take a look really quickly at, this is the ending to his St. John Passion. I just got the score up here. Go listen to it. It's, if you go to YouTube and you listen to the recording that has like a picture of a cathedral and just the recording, it clocks in about time step 1 hour and 10 seconds. 1 hour and 10 seconds. It starts a couple seconds after that, so there's a time punch you can go. And it's this gorgeous, gorgeous, just ringing dissonances and consonances alternating. Because what we have here is we've got these layers of counterpoint. So we've got this melody line going up stepwise. Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. Mi in the key of, B major. Not B major. We're just in B minor. D major. This one's in D major. We have a voice running in parallel sixths to that. Oh, we remember back from freshman theory. We love parallel sixths motion, right? Sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol. You can see he's doubled those voices in the organ there, and he's taken the melody down an octave in the organ as well, doubling that. And then the bass is written counter that as the melody is ascending. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, just going down the scale in the bass. But the texture is caused by this tintinnabuli, just gorgeous thickening tintinnabuli voices here. So the mi fa sol melody line here, you can see you've got a first position superior above that. The F sharp goes up to the A, the G goes up to the A jumps up to the next note in the D major triad, there's the D, B goes up to the D, C sharp goes up to the D, D skips up to the next note in the triad, F sharp, E goes to the F sharp, and we end on F sharp skipping up to the A, and we've got this Tintinnabuli first position superior. We've also got a first position superior on the parallel sixth voice, and the sol skips up to the do, and the la to the do, and the ti to the do. Then the do skips up to the mi, re to mi. We've got here mi up to the sol, fa to sol, and ending on sol skipping up to do. So, you know, these parallel six with first position superior above them. And then just to thicken things one more time in the organ, you can see a first position inferior underneath the melody line in the organ. So mi down to do, re down to, or fa down to mi, sol down to mi, la down to sol, ti down to sol, do down to sol, re down to do, mi down to do, and that line is also doubled at the octave. And so you get this lovely thick texture. I'm not going to play it on note flight because the MIDI doesn't do it justice. It doesn't ring like a bell the way that it does in the recording. So go listen to it. I think Tintinnabuli is brilliant. I think it's beautiful. It's simple, it's elegant, and it just works. And so leaving that as kind of the last thing we've learned. Who knows? You know, it's hard to look at the time period in which we're living. These parrot pieces were written close to within my lifetime, at least. I'm not sure what month Fiorellina was written in, but I was alive for the writing of the St. John Passion. And it's one of the techniques that I think does have some lasting power. It is simple, it is elegant, it is flexible, and there are many things you can do with it. And so we're learning that. But last video, we're going to ask, how do you learn what the rules are for things that we don't know about yet? How do you make up your own rules? And that'll be our parting thoughts for the year.